You sit down to study, but the focus just doesn't come. You try, really you do. You even promise yourself that this time will be different, that now, finally, it'll happen. But then your mind starts to wander. A thought here, a worry there, a buzzing notification. And suddenly you realize you've spent more time forcing yourself to concentrate than actually studying. And then comes the worst part, the guilt. You feel frustrated, exhausted, disappointed in yourself. Maybe you think the problem is a lack of discipline, or that there's something wrong with you. But let me tell you something. With all the care and respect in the world, it's not you that's broken. It's the world around you that never taught you how to work with your mind. The truth is, the human mind wasn't built for this bombardment of stimuli. It wasn't made to live under constant pressure. It needs space, silence, compassion. And maybe no one has ever told you this, but I'll tell you now. You don't need to conquer your mind. You need to listen to it. You're not alone in this struggle. So many people feel this anguish, this quiet pain of wanting to do but not being able to. Of feeling like you should be moving forward, only to drift further from what you hope to achieve. Maybe you're trying to focus with the same mind that's exhausted, anxious, full of inner voices demanding more from you every second. And that's where the Buddha's path can help. Not as some miracle technique, but as a deep invitation. Breathe, sit, come back inside. In this video, I want to walk with you. Together, let's gently examine this suffering you feel when you try to study. Let's understand why the mind acts this way and how to begin turning this struggle into peace. You deserve to study with ease, with presence, not as someone fighting against themselves, but as someone tending to something sacred, your own mind. And it all starts now. Perhaps you've already asked yourself, why can't I just focus? The answer is simple, and at the same time profound. The mind isn't a productivity machine. It's alive, fluid, in constant motion. In Buddhism, this is called the monkey mind, a mind that jumps from branch to branch, from thought to thought without stopping. It thinks about what's already happened. It imagines what could go wrong. It compares you to others. It demands, pressures, and judges you. And all of this happens while you just wanted to study in peace. But here's the thing. The mind isn't your enemy. It acts this way because it's trying to protect you. It wants to solve everything, predict everything, control everything. But this constant effort, it wears you out. Buddha taught that suffering arises when we resist what is. And that's exactly what happens when you try to study with a mind that's too full, too rushed, too pressured. You don't need to force your mind to obey. You need to sit with it, listen to it, embrace it. This is where the practice of mindfulness comes in, the famous mindfulness, which in Buddhism we call sati. It's not about being Zen all the time. It's about being present, moment by moment, with kindness. So I ask you now, with all my care, when was the last time you really stopped, breathed, and just felt what's happening inside you? Without judgment, without pressure, just presence. That's the first step. Before any study technique, before any schedule, focus doesn't come from brute effort. It blossoms from inner calm, and calm comes when the mind isn't forced, but understood. Buddha also spoke of wise effort, not the effort that destroys you, but the one that strengthens you. It's the kind of effort that respects your limits, that walks with the body, that cultivates lightness instead of rigidity. You can study deeply, yes, but you need to change the route. Instead of trying to control your mind like it's an enemy, what if you treated it like a scared child, asking for attention? When the mind feels heard, it settles. When you stop fighting it, focus begins to emerge, not from the outside in, but from the inside out. It is said that in a village surrounded by silent mountains, there lived a young man named Kiran. He was known for his intelligence and thirst for knowledge, but also for his restlessness. Even when surrounded by books, his mind seemed to slip through the pages. Every day he tried to study, but he ended up overwhelmed by exhaustion, by comparisons with others, by the frustration of not being able to do what he so deeply desired. Tired of fighting against himself, Kiran decided to seek help. He heard of an old monk who lived in an isolated monastery high in the hills. They said he knew the secret to true concentration. Determined to uncover this wisdom, Kiran climbed the mountain and found the monk in silent meditation, surrounded by ancient trees and the gentle sound of the wind. "Master," the young man said, "I've come to learn how to focus. My mind betrays me all the time. I want to study, but it drags me in every direction. Teach me how to master it." The monk slowly opened his eyes and looked at the boy with tenderness. "Before you learn to focus," he replied, "you need to learn to listen." Not fully understanding, Kiran was invited to spend a few days at the monastery. But to his surprise, the monk didn't give him any techniques, exercises, or magic formulas. "Today, walk around the temple and simply observe. Tomorrow, wash the dishes feeling the water on your hands. The day after, breathe while counting to 10. If you lose count, start over without judging yourself." Day after day, Kiran began to notice something he had never seen before. His mind was like a restless river. The more he fought against the current, the more he drowned. But when he simply observed and let the river flow, little by little, the waters became clearer. Without realizing it, Kiran began to focus, not because he was forcing his mind, but because he was learning to be present with it. After weeks, the young man finally asked, "Master, what is the secret to concentration?" The monk smiled and replied, "The secret isn't in trapping the mind, but in setting it free. Focus arises when you make peace with what's inside you." Kiran descended the mountain with a new perspective. He hadn't gained a technique, but he had discovered a truth. His mind wasn't his enemy. It just needed to be welcomed, guided, loved. Now that you've heard this story, maybe something has started to shift inside you. Maybe you're realizing that the problem wasn't exactly your lack of focus, but the way you've been relating to your own mind. A lot of people try to study as if they were machines. But you're not a machine. You feel, you think. You carry stories, fears, pressures. And that's why studying sometimes hurts so much. Because you try to build focus on top of unstable ground. You want to create something beautiful, but the soil is trembling within. The first thing you can do is stop attacking yourself, blaming yourself, judging yourself, pressuring yourself. None of that brings you closer to focus. Quite the opposite. It only reinforces the cycle of anxiety and frustration. Instead, start with kindness. Before opening the book, pause for a minute. Sit up straight. Take a deep breath. Feel the air coming in and out. Notice how your mind is. Is it restless? Is it sad? Is it angry? Just observe without trying to change it. This simple practice already changes everything. You can, little by little, create small rituals before studying. Light a candle. Organize your space. Say to yourself quietly, "Now, I'll take care of my mind with presence." You can also break your time into short blocks. Study for 25 minutes, then stop and walk a little. Come back with presence. Don't study like you're running. Study like you're diving in. And if intrusive thoughts come, that's okay. Don't fight them. Just acknowledge them, breathe, and return. Every time you come back with kindness, you're training the muscle of true attention. In Buddhism, we call this the middle way, neither rigidity nor indulgence. A balanced path, firm yet gentle. It's this path that will lead you to real focus, the kind that arises from peace, not from a war against yourself. You don't need to wait until you're okay to start. You start exactly where you are, with the mind you have, and with each conscious step you draw closer to your center. Studying can be a spiritual act. It can be a way of caring for yourself. It can be a space of presence, not pressure. And the way out, as Buddha always taught, is within you. Maybe you still feel like you're not ready. Maybe you think you need to get more organized, completely change your routine, or muster more willpower. But I want to remind you of something simple and true. You don't need to wait for an ideal tomorrow to start taking care of yourself now. The path to focus doesn't begin with a perfect plan. It begins with a conscious breath, with a gentle look inward, with a moment of silence between one thought and the next. This journey doesn't demand haste, it demands presence. And if you've made it this far, something in you has already awakened. Even if doubts still linger, even if not everything is clear, you've already taken a step toward clarity. So don't pressure yourself for not being at the finish line. The practice is the path, and the peace you're searching for, it's already sprouting within you. If this video touched something in you, I invite you to subscribe to the Modern Monk Wisdom channel. We're building a space of pause, awareness, and compassion for those living in this fast-paced world. Write in the comments, what's the biggest challenge your mind is presenting to you today? Let's keep this conversation going with openness, without judgment. And if you'd like to suggest topics, I'm here to listen. This space is yours too. Take a deep breath now. Carry this peace with you, and remember, you are so much more than your productivity. You are presence, path, and possibility. See you in the next video. Stay in peace.